City of Port Allen, Louisiana, Port Allen City Council Committee meeting. City Council Chamber, 375 4th Street, 3rd floor, Port Allen, Louisiana, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, 5:30 p.m. Notice to the public. Each person must decide before entering the chamber which agenda item they wish to comment upon. If they are not seated in the chamber when the agenda item is heard, they will be notified by an officer to enter the council chamber to address that agenda item. Please silence all mobile phones and electronic devices. Public Safety Committee, call to order, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Establish a quorum, please. Roll call.
Gregory Payne.
Here.
Councilwoman Adrian Joseph.
Here.
Councilwoman Charlene Gordon.
Here.
Quorum established.
Item 1, Police Department, Chief Mitchell.
Good morning, everybody. Mayor, council. How you doing? Hey, Mayor, Darryl calling me. Just see what he want. Darryl calling me. Just see what he want. All right. All right, sorry about that. So for the month of May, we had officers responded to 214 calls, which we had 12 arrests and we had 37 tickets collected. All right.
And 2, nuisance violation report, Mayor Fontaine. We'll give her a second, she'll be right back. We're gonna look at you.
Violations.
Violation report, Mayor.
Good evening, council. So, we are still doing the, nuisance violation report. So all of them except one that you just gave me, Mr. Hubble, we have, already on this list tonight. So it's the one at the top, I think, that you gave me, we don't have, so we'll look into that one. We have several that are open, 814 North 13th Street, sign card, but no work has been done. 1158 Georgia, same thing, sign card, no work done. 1205 Avenue C, that's the condemnation. I think they have been in contact. They paid the taxes on the property, but they have the fees that's associated with the condemnation. So I think they were a little confused when they came to ask for time. So we are giving them, they still have until July 11th, but I think she was kind of confused. So I think she thought, they had time to fix the house, but like I told her, we were asking for it to be condemned. No, that one hadn't contacted, but the other one on Avenue C, the Anderson family. It said Jones, but it was the Anderson family who came. So I explained to her the curator fees and all the fees that's associated with it. They are responsible for. So she is aware that she needs to have the house torn down, or she's speaking with someone to see if it's able to be possibly fixed, which I don't think so. So that's the conversations that we've had, but she is aware of, I think it's right at $5,000 worth of fees, plus the demolition that they will be responsible for. So I brought it to Casey before, and I'm not sure if Evan and I talked about it, but I think because of the curator fees are so expensive, once we get to the point to appoint a curator, I'm asking the council not to allow the time for them because it's confusing for them once, it's, well, why we still have to pay the fee? Well, we've done all the research and all the preliminary, and to get to that point when they come and ask, then we grant them, but then they're responsible still for the fees. So I think we need to kind of come together as a body.
So they had never started on the house? Or did anything?
No. So they have still time to July 11th, but she knows it's approaching because we're in June now. So she came in to inquire about it, but she didn't realize you still have to pay the curator fees because that's the point we were already at. So I think we just need to look at that. Once it gets to that point, I think we just need to go ahead with the kind of finish the process out. So we talked to the homeowner at 364 Georgia when he came in for a planning and zoning request about his grass. And I know the rain has been, because we have someone here that were cut before, and now the rain is every day, so we're trying to give them a little time. 639 South 14th Street. He has a lot of junk under his carport. 269 14th Street, high grass, but then the grass was cut, but it's back up. 1241 and 1249 Avenue B, same thing. 915 8th Street was contacted about fence line and grass. 1048 Louisiana, it's been a complaint. It was purchased at a sheriff's sale, so that person actually doesn't live in the city limits, but we have sent information out to him. 831 10th Street, it's a lot, same thing, high grass. 930 Kentucky, spoke to him, and he was rude according to this, said his place does not need to be cleaned up, and it definitely does. 258 Palm Street, high grass. They did call back and say they will take care of it. So this is just kind of in the next week after the rain to kind of go back and look at. 434 Michigan. Note was hand carried there. 430 North Alexander, high grass and clean up grass around the fence line. 1030 North Alexander, high grass, which was cut, same thing, back up. 120 South Alexander, we spoke to him about the sign, which he fixed the existing sign, but we're trying to get him to change the sign. That's the restaurant that's off of LA1. 357 Atchafalaya, spoke to her. She said she will have the grass cut. 1021 Avenue G, same thing, spoke to them. They said they will have it cut. And we have a couple that's completed. Grass were cut on Atchafalaya. And the other lots that's on there, we've already spoken, Mr. Hubble, we spoke to them already, except the one that you had. 451 Harry Brown, that's the other condemnation. They have until July 11th as well. We haven't heard an update or anything yet from them. 1161 Avenue B, he has started. His dates will be up July 7th. So I would expect him to come and ask for some more time, but he has started his process. And then we have 1159 Georgia, abandoned cars, and we have been putting notes out, sending. And so I think we will do a citywide in the bills next month and just put quote the ordinances and that we are trying to clean the city up so everyone is aware of it. So I think we can try to reach everyone like that.
I don't have a problem giving people the extension if I see that they have started on their project to work on, but just them just sit there and the time up and then they come back and ask us for extension. I don't think it should be granted because they didn't have the opportunity, they had the opportunity to start. But if you don't start at all and then come in the deadline of the act for it, then when you gonna start?
Well, the condemnations I was saying is a little different because we do reach out to them. It takes a while. It takes right at a month actually before we can get it on the agenda. Mr. Altazan comes and gives his report. So at that time, once we hire a curator, I'm just asking the council like not to grant the family, like long lost family comes after that. Well, we have to pay this lady still, or whoever the curator is
You charge
appointed.
it to them, like you said at first.
Right.
You charge the bill to them and let them know that, hey, if you spend this here, you all still responsible.
Up front, right? Because she didn't know
Before we
that.
can get an extension, let them pay at least half or something on the bill and let them know that that is their bill, not
Yeah.
ours.
Well, she said she didn't realize, and I thought we kind of went over that at the meeting when she
But they
came.
probably don't, understand.
So I'm sure she may come. We talked to her legally. You know, we may set a contract, is what we told her. But in the future, just to kind of prevent that. Y'all have any other questions?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, discuss the proposed update to the city's emergency preparedness policy and procedure to ensure consistency across departments in advance of the 2026 hurricane season, including essential personnel, designation, emergency pay and leave, and continuity of operations. Mayor Fontaine.
And she has punted it over to me. I attended a FEMA workshop a few weeks ago in preparation, hopefully, let's knock on wood, that we do not have a hurricane. But in going to that FEMA workshop, one of the things they went over that when we apply for FEMA funds, that all of our written policies and procedures need to match what we actually do. Chief Mitchell's already mentioned with his Lexapol that we've got a lot of written things that are outdated, so we've got to go through all of our policies, and we've started doing that. It will not be ready to present next week, but I just wanted in a public forum to let you know that we are aware and we are working on updating all of our policies and procedures so that we would not have any issues with FEMA reimbursement should a natural disaster strike us. Any questions?
No, but I just wanted to let the council know, I don't know if you all had got the email, but they had the Louisiana municipality, update on the hurricane. They had the class today from 10 to 11. So check your email, cause they have, short class and let y'all know what y'all can do for y'all constituents in your district, if in case we do have a hurricane. So they had one today from 10 to 11, I think they may have another one in the next 2 weeks, and if y'all don't receive it, I'll forward to each one.
And what's the website? Because I didn't receive anything either.
It was the Louisiana municipality, hurricane season forecast and pre-event planning. And it was today from 10 to 11. But I forwarded it to you.
Okay.
I just thought everyone had it because they sent it to me. Okay.
Adjourn.
Public Works Committee, call to order. Establish a quorum, please. Roll call.
Chairwoman Charlene Gord,
Here.
Councilman Gregory Payne,
Here.
Councilwoman April King.
Here.
Item 1, discuss authorization to obtain an independent appraisal of approximately 31 acres of land for the proposal municipality wastewater treatment facility. Mayor Patton.
Okay, so this is kind of what we had the town hall meeting on between the two properties. So in talking to the owners of the property on Court in Allendale, because of the amount, I think they wanted to give 4 acres to the neighboring business, who in turn turned them down. So I think they wanted to 200,000 roughly, I think is what they were willing to sell the property to the neighboring business. They weren't in the shape to buy it right now, so they turned it down. So
4 acres.
that's 4 acres. So just in mathing, 2.5 still I thought was a lot for us to buy the rest of the land. even though it would be feasible because it's closer. And the town hall meeting to me went great. None of the citizens really complained about it being in the backyard, but about the drainage. We still have to be good citizens of the taxpayers' dollars. So we had a meeting Monday, I think. Myself, Evan, Mr. Tony, the Fillmore, Bradford, the sewer supervisor, and Mr. Daigle, Mr. Mason. And so we kind of hashed around some thoughts. And so we're thinking about purchasing the land that's down Court Street, the other tract that we actually looked at, to be good taxpayers of the money of our taxpayers. So that tract is 31 acres. It is even with the drainage running from there down the street. I think will be a little more than the 2.7, but then we're getting more land for our bang for our buck. So that's what we're kind of in the negotiations now. So we're asking that you allow us to hire appraisal to get the land appraised, and so that's what the first request is
That's the property down where we looked at
by the council on aging.
right.
Mhm.
Who does that property belongs to? You know?
The seller is Diaz. It's two property owners.
It's Khan family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two different groups essentially own each
Both,
tract,
right.
but both are they're affiliated families, if you will, affiliated companies. But I think ultimately it's Khan heirs, if you will, that's controlling both tracts.
So you think they're gonna work with us for a good price?
It's 45,000 tentatively
Well,
that they're asking.
We had a meeting with their essentially their real estate agent. They do seem like the property is for sale right now. I mean, both tracts are advertised, so they are trying to sell the tracts. They indicate that they are motivated to sell, that they're interested in selling. They understand the project that the city is looking at doing, so they understand what the property would be purchased for, and at least so far they've had no reservations about why the city would be potentially purchasing the property. We did mention that, as a governmental body, one of the most important things that we have to worry about when purchasing things is, we pay fair market value, no more than fair market value. And essentially, that's why this agenda item is what it is. How do you determine what a fair market value is for a piece of property? Well, you gotta have it appraised. So, essentially with this meeting, we had, the mayor working with Mr. Aricall on the engineering side. They did identify this tract of land as a tract that would be feasible, or appears to be feasible, for what the city wants to do with that tract of land. So, now the next kind of question that the city has is, okay, let's see how much it's appraised for. We do know what they're asking for per acre right now, but we still want to know what the land would actually appraise for. Maybe it's more than that, maybe it's less than that, but that is a required step essentially that the city would need to do. Obtain that appraisal before you can actually, officially purchase the property.
Well, since the Khan family is so generous in donating properties, we might need some donate property. I mean, can't hurt to ask.
I don't think so.
It don't hurt to ask.
Well, and that's something where, they can work with the city on the price.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it don't hurt to ask.
Right, and obviously that's, we don't disagree with that idea. It's,
Okay.
So I have a question, how many acres of land would it actually take for a sewer plant?
We said about 10 to be comfortable.
10 would give you room for expansion and
Right.
everything. Like you'd be, it would be plenty of room for 10. You could probably shove it on 6, but 10 would be ideal.
So we don't really have to buy that 31 acres? Would they sell it to us like that? They won't sell it to us like that, huh?
Probably not, but we are looking for expansion later on in the near future.
For the next generation.
Yeah, for the other tracts of land if we purchase. We kind of discussed that.
And on that track, essentially, the plant would be located more in the middle of the track. One, try to make it less visible, and then get it away from residences as far as you can. So that essentially leaves you some, potential other areas that, you can use for city operations, the front or the property or the back door of the property.
Okay, I'll make that motion. Wait, anybody got any questions?
We just want to make it an agenda item for next week.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
July, for July.
Agenda item.
Number 2.
Item number 2, discuss authorization for the mayor to execute a contingent purchase agreement for the Q section of said property, subject to appraisal, value, environmental review, and site suitability studies. Mayor Pate.
Okay, basically the same thing.
So essentially again, because we've kind of honed in on this particular site, one of the things that the city would do before officially purchasing any piece of land is you want to make sure that that piece of land can be used for the purpose that you intend to use it for. So some of the things that normally done is you go out there and you do some soil testing, some engineering analysis, environmental concerns are looked at. Well, to do all that, you're going to be hiring engineers and other folks and sending them out there. So you're going to be spending money. So what you won't want to do is they'll allow you to go out there and do it, but what you don't want to do is start spending money, sending these folks to, really study this property to determine if you really want to buy it or not, and then all of a sudden somebody else buys it. So essentially what we're asking for is permission to enter into a purchase agreement that essentially, kind of locks the property up for a certain period of time such that it can't be sold, while in the meantime, the city is essentially sending a variety of experts to the site to, study the site and make sure it's going to be suitable for the city's purpose. So, we don't necessarily have a final agreement right now. We will have a proposed agreement though for next week, but, essentially that agreement prevents the owner of the property from selling it while the city is in the process of doing, what's called the due diligence phase, which is making sure the property is gonna be suitable. And then the agreement would also have, if something comes up in the due diligence phase, the city can either decide not to buy the property, or you essentially work on a price. And obviously the max purchase price in the purchase agreement, even though I don't think we would have that prior to next week, but the max purchase price would be whatever the appraised value is.
This might sound crazy, but I just wanna ask, when we pay for all this here, would that go toward our purchase price, or that just money that we just spent just to get it done?
That's just you doing your own analysis, your own investigation to determine if you want to buy that property. Because, a property may be suitable for one use, but not suitable for another use. So the owner of the property is gonna be, look, it's up to you to determine if you want to buy my piece of property based on your intended use of it.
Okay.
So, that's just cost that, a purchaser, a prospective purchaser would normally incur.
Asking for it to be made an agenda item.
Anybody have any question, concern? Agenda
Agenda item.
adjourn.
Call to order, establish the forum, roll call.
Chairwoman Adrian Joseph.
Here.
Councilwoman Charlene Gord.
Here,
Councilman Gary Hubble.
Announce the appointment of Jason Hammock and Sherman.
I think we need to amend it first.
it's on
Oh,
here.
she don't do it now. Well, okay, all right.
Well, we can do it. Yes, Madam Chairman, we're asking for the agenda to be amended. Mr. Phil Canova was here. I think he had some conversations about getting on the agenda. But he's here essentially to talk about a book that he wrote.
Who?
Mr. Phil Canova. So if we could amend the agenda to go ahead and accommodate that request, we do need a unanimous motion to amend the agenda.
You was in Rosedale?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We need a motion and a second to amend the agenda to add that item.
I'll make sure.
Announce the appointment of
Yeah, we roll call, we had a motion, a second. Any comment from the audience, since this is an action?
Who's second?
Gregory.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, roll call.
Councilwoman Adrian Joseph.
here.
Councilwoman Charlene Gordon.
Yes.
Councilman Gary Hubble.
Yes.
Councilman,
Just a
oh,
committee.
just a committee.
You gonna announce the appointment of Jason Hammock and Sherman Knighton to the planning commission.
So, with some time right after the new administration started, I was given Mr. Hammock's name, and later Councilwoman Gordon brought up Mr. Knighton. So some time has passed, and we reached out to both of them. Mr. Hammock is not here. He was supposed to come, but he is accepting the appointment as well. But Mr. Sherman Knighton is here, so I'm gonna allow him to come up and just introduce himself to you all. But he has also accepted the appointment. I'm sorry. We never fill yours, but didn't realize. And then Miss Isaac is ill, so we're filling hers, and I think we may have one more, but I have one more person that's interested as well. Mr. Knight?
Good evening. My name is Sherman Knighton Jr. I live at 1120 Maryland Avenue. And I would like to be on the board. Miss Charlene Gordon, I talked to her, and she explained things to me. I talked to Mr. Joseph back there, and he explained a few things to me. And I think I would love to be on this board.
We'd love to have you.
Do y'all have any questions? Any questions for him?
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all here. God bless.
Well, it was just a note.
No, yeah, that's what.
But I don't think we have to vote on that.
No, we don't.
We used to vote on it, but we don't have to.
Update the community development activities.
Okay, that's me. Miss Rose is out. So, the mayor's leadership camp starts July 15th through the 26th. We're asking for y'all to kind of pop in and talk to our campers. It will be from 8:15 to noon each day, I think, except on the 19th. I think we're gonna get them to come at 10 because they have a ceremony at the museum that day for 12. So we're gonna bring them over there to that.
You said July, man.
June. I said
You
July.
said July.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's June. I'm sorry. Also, lunch will be served for the kids daily. The summer feed program did partner with us, so they're going to feed them except on Fridays. So I'll feed them on Fridays. The reception recognizing Ms. Juneteenth and her court will be Thursday, June 18th at 6 p.m. at West Baton Rouge Community Center on Jefferson. The dedication of Heritage Park will take place at 10 a.m. on June 19th. Juneteenth Freedom Festival will take place on Saturday, June 20th, beginning at noon. And Senior Citizen Luncheon, which I gave tickets to everyone, will be served at 1 p.m. at the William and Lee Community Center. And that is on that Saturday, June 20th. Excuse me. And then The festival naming announcement will take place at 3 p.m. at William and Lee, also on that same day, June 20th. There will be food, fun, and live entertainment for the whole family. And we still have vendor spots. If anyone's interested, the vendor spots are $50.
So, Councilman Joseph, so you, for the lunch, you need our help to serve this year like we did last year.
And the Queens will be there too.
Last year, Queen.
Last year Queens and this year.
Any other questions?
Adjourn.
No.
You're about to run me off. I swear, I promise I'm only gonna be 3 minutes. I promise. No, that's quite all right. Thank y'all so much for giving me an opportunity to announce my book that is I'm very proud of. It's called A Sleepy Town Awakens, the Civil Rights Movement in the Town of Plaquemine in 1963. When I retired over 4 years ago, there was 3 things I wanted to do, and one of them was to do some research on Iberville and Plaquemine's history from 1946 to 1978. And the reason I picked that time frame is for Iberville and Plaquemine, the authors had pretty much written books. There's about 3 books that really deal with Iberville, and they stopped around 1946-47. So it seemed to me to be good to try to fill in a gap. I knew it would be post-war, I knew it would be 1950, and I knew 1960s would deal with the civil rights movement in Plaquemine, and I also knew from 64 to 78 would be Mr. Jessaluso's tenure as the mayor. As the sheriff of Iberville Parish. After I went through 1963, though, I realized that there was so much going on, and Iberville and Plaquemine was actually in the very center of the national consciousness at the time. Iberville and Plaquemine had the voters' right drives, they had the boycotts, they had sit-ins, they had demonstrations, they had picketing. They had the governmental bodies acquiring injunctions. They had governmental bodies using tear gas, using high-pressure hoses, using law enforcement on horseback with cattle prods to disperse the marches. It was on the national news, CBS Evening News, the first 30-minute news report by Walter Cronkite actually led with the story of Plaquemine and the September 1 demonstration that was made famous by Mr. James Farmer having to be secreted out of town in a coffin on the back and inside of a hearse to escape getting apprehended by some very vigilant law enforcement people at the time. And at the time, Mr. James Farmer was probably as significant a national figure of civil rights as Dr. King was with his Congress of Racial Equality group that had actually started around 1942 with the Freedom Riders riding the buses to the various segregated areas in the South. It seemed to be such a significant part, and it was such a central part of being in the this consciousness of America. I just thought it was a story that needed to be told that had not been told. So I ended up writing a book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle Books, and Apple Books. Just recently, it's now on the shelf at an independent bookstore in Baton Rouge called Baton Rouge Red Stick Reads, right on there on Government Street. I'll be glad to stay after and answer any questions, or if anybody want to talk any more about it. And again, it's A Sleepy Town Awakens. Thank you all so much for listening and taking my announcement. And you can adjourn now, Ms. Joseph.
Call the Personnel Committee to order. It's established quorum. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Chairman Gary Hubble,
Here.
Chairwoman Charlene Gordon,
Here.
Councilman Gregory Payne.
Item number 1, discuss changing the observance of the Independence Day holiday to Monday, July 6, 2026, in lieu of Friday, July 3rd, 2026. Mayor?
So, in discussion, we had, kind of meetings on, yesterday about, emergency preparedness and the upcoming festivals we have. So, we had some meetings. So in that conversation, we realized that the 4th of July falls on a Saturday. So normally we do, Thursday half a day and then all day Friday is our day. So we're just asking that, we move those dates to Monday. And so we'll be closed all day Monday. We'll be here Thursday and Friday. Friday's a half a day anyway. The 4th is that Saturday. So we're asking, if you would take into consideration, for us to move it to Monday. Next week. Put an agenda item, yeah.
Item number 2, discuss amending section 2-132 of the Code of Ordinances to allow advertising of open positions on the city's official website and social media for 7 days in lieu of publication in the official journal. Mayor?
So, in the beginning of, each term, prior administration did the same thing. Come to X, the West Side Journal has closed. So you all voted to make the Advocate our official journal. No one looks at the Advocate. The Advocate is very expensive for us to run ads. Small as we can get them is 900 or more. So we're asking that we make our Facebook page and our website that should be up within the next 2 weeks, our official journals to post on. We have talked to Mr. Summers.
I was just gonna ask about him.
He is, we've been in conversation, so I'm gonna leave it at that for now, because we've kind of talked about that. But he knows kind of where we are with that. But of course, he would share until he gets to the point that he could.
I'll just, we wanna look over him.
Yeah,
Right.
just a point of clarity, we still have the Advocate as the official journal because you are required to have an official journal, and that official journal must meet certain requirements. Essentially what this ordinance though is gonna change when we have vacant employment positions.
Right.
Instead of having to advertise in the official journal for vacant, employment positions, the ordinance would be changed so that that's not now required to be placed in your official journal. Other things would still have to be advertised in your official journal, depending if state law requires it to be in your official journal or not. But just our ads about vacancies and we're seeking, such and such a person to fill such and such a position, that would no longer be put in the official journal anymore.
But can we, if we have to do the official journal, instead of doing the job description, just say we are hiring? So,
Well, that's essentially what you're doing is you're
Right,
putting,
but
instead of
say-
running those in the official journal, you're putting them on your website and you're putting them on your social media.
so we're not gonna use the official journal at all?
No, there's.
Not for the postings, for the job postings.
There's still other things by law you are required to use an official journal
Okay.
for, so this doesn't affect anything on that. This is only about posting vacant positions.
Yeah, the agency, okay.
Yeah, and I did send, and to clarify, I sent a text out separately to each of you to let you know, because the fact that we asked to advertise, to make the Advocate our official journal, when we have job postings, I don't have to ask you each time to post anymore. I found that out. So that's why, but it's a FYI, so that's why I did send to you.
And that's good too, because when you post, we can share.
Right.
So that's,
So that's why I sent the text out to you all to let you know what vacant positions we did have open.
that's good. Thank you.
Any discussion on that? If not, Philip, you make that agenda item, please. Agenda item. Adjourn.
Finance Committee, call to order, established forum, roll call.
Councilwoman April King,
Here.
Councilman Gary Hubble. Here. Councilwoman Adrian Joseph.
How y'all doing?
Item number 1, discuss additional payment of $1,605 to Trustfire Services LLC for extra work at the police department.
All right, so a little over a month ago, I ended up meeting with this company who came to get a walkthrough, and upon the walkthrough, they ended up seeing the property, and they originally gave me a quote of $1,900. Upon starting the process, it had a lot of things up in the police department that's been accumulating since before I was here. That when they started moving a lot of the things around, we was able to start uncovering a lot more dust, grit on the walls, holes in the walls. So they had to do more sanding, more fixing and moving a lot of things around just to get to a lot of the areas. So one of the reps I ended up getting with me immediately and ended up telling me, hey, look, man, it's a little bit more than what it looked like from the surface. So from there, I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention so we can kind of cover it. Despite the additional cost of this, which make it $3,505 total, it's still cheaper than everybody else that came and gave us quotes. The next one close to this was like $15,000.
Is this in our report?
Yeah. So and in the invoice you'll see is what those other ones. I don't have the other quotes. I can email them, but as of right now, this is the one that this is everything that they had to do for the police department that I have on that I put in front of you guys.
I'm looking for, sorry.
So I just wanted to basically bring this to you guys' attention to make sure that that company was paid, since it exceeded the original amount that we agreed to, which was $1,900.
Okay. So that's in this budget or
Yeah,
July 1st?
nah, this is in this budget right now. It's that. They still doing the work right now. Today will be the last day, so
The last day for what?
that they finishing up the painting.
Oh.
Yeah. It originally supposed to have been 1 week, but all the stuff that was up in there, it kind of it stretched out longer.
So the job is complete, we just need to
Yeah.
approve the, right, okay. I have to come and inspect it before I give you my approval.
Oh, most definitely. I was hoping that you guys come check it out. I asked Mr. Phil to come see it today, but I knew he was busy and I can't be mad at him. I was extremely busy myself. The mayor stopped in a couple of times during the process and she was able to see it a little bit. She haven't gotten a chance to see the finishing touches, but she was able to come see a little bit. So it's coming along. I'm impressed. I'm happy to see the building is bright. All the offices come in. Oh, it's bright in here. So I like that. So,
Right ideas.
yeah. Yeah, I like to make it an agenda item. Well, yeah.
Okay. Item number 2, discuss purchase of 4 Verkada cameras and hardware with 3-year software plan at a cost of $25,731.40.
Also, y'all have this in front of y'all. At the end of April, going into May, met with this company. One of the reps came out to me and showed us their product, which I've spoken to you guys before on the importance of trying to bring our community to the 21st century by putting more cameras and stuff over here. So they gave us the luxury to demo the three of the cameras, which we was able to get them put up and try them out. Immediately upon putting them up, they helped us out immediately. We had an incident that ended up happening right in front of the cameras. We got called. Upon being called, I was able to go directly into the phone, see the person, give a description, pass that information on to the shift supervisor. They was able to make contact with that person, apprehend them, and resolve a situation before it escalated. So that's one of many examples I can give you guys on why we need more cameras over here, and that's why I'm pushing to get these cameras. We still have these cameras these demo cameras up as of right now, but I'm asking to get these three Vicata cameras plus an additional one along with the hardware and a 3-year software agreement.
So the camera that you have now, how long they gonna need you demonstrate on the camera?
Well, we at the end of the demonstration right now. So.
And I didn't know, they did have an incident close by and that you was able to tell the officer which way the suspect was running, so
Right.
that was an A+.
Right.
And it's good that no one knows where the cameras are.
Right.
So, I'm not gonna say where the incident happened, but it was good that you was able to look on it and let them know what direction that suspect was going and for them to apprehend him.
Right.
Is this the only price that we received for this company? I mean, did you search anywhere else, or just the cheapest that you found, or what?
Yeah, all the cameras I have talked to. There's whatever was Motorola. I've talked to Motorola. Of course, y'all know about Flock, so it's the third company. So upon all of them, they the cheapest. It wasn't hard to get in contact with none of their reps. They came, sat down with us as personable. They told us they was gonna send a demo. We don't have to hound them. They was able to send these cameras. We was able to get them put up immediately. So
you pleased with their service, what they offering?
yeah, most definitely.
You feel comfortable with it?
I was just asking.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 demos?
You're correct.
Okay.
They asked you for 4.
You're asking for 4.
I'm asking for additional, which would make it 4. Yeah.
Okay, 1 additional.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But the cameras where they're at now, you're gonna leave them there and just put this new one in another spot, correct?
Correct. But the beauty of them, we can move these cameras
Get
around.
around.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that fourth one, the total price, that's that $25,000.
Yeah, that's with the 3-year service agreement. So if you look at the back, the third page, I have it highlighted for you guys. You'll see that's the quote at the top. That's the camera price and the 3-year software agreement.
Are there any agencies that's using it?
Yeah, Bruley using them right now. Bruley have 38 cameras.
38?
New Rose got.
New Rose, EVR,
So we somewhere kind of behind, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. And once again, I want you to hear this again. Bruley have 38.
And they using the same company or
Yes.
someone different?
I was referred by Bruley.
Oh, okay. So can they give us a discount?
This is a
If we-
discount.
No, for more cameras
Oh,
instead of 4, I mean, you know.
that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get more cameras. I'm working on it. I just was taking it a step at a time. Once we end up demoing them,
So they
man,
might give you a discount if you get more instead of this 4, that's what I'm asking.
I would say Mr. Andy with Pilliam/Vicata, they are reasonable. He's been easy to talk to. So I'll reach out and see what we can do going in the
About a
future.
discount.
I see that. I heard you earlier. So
Can we get 4?
right, yeah, 39. Can you get 39? So, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Also, they have one on a trailer that they can move around in certain positions. I'm pretty sure y'all seen Mr. Summers' article about it.
Yeah.
That come from Vicata as well.
Okay. Chairman? Chairman?
Yeah, you can make it on the agenda.
Agenda item.
Item number 3, discuss purchase of 3 mobile radios and hardware from Service Communications at a cost of $7,457.04.
Okay. I do want to say that just like I was talking to the reps for Vicata, I was also talking to these reps over here at that company in Lafayette. They came out and they was able to quote us on 3 radios, which before I took office, that's one of the things that I put in the budget is to get some funding for 3 of those vehicles that we had on the road all this time since like 2024, 23? 2023, 3 vehicles did not have in-car radios, so that's a problem. So one of the things, if the officer's portable radio goes out, then they don't have no backup line to communicate. So I finally gotten around to it, to be able to reach out to a company. I've checked with them. I talked to Baracom, and who else we ended up talking to? It was Motorola. Motorola, they do that too. And these guys was the cheapest. Came out, they local as well. He gave us a quote, and this was the price on it.
I just one question. I see you have a lot of things on here that you're asking for. Is all this in your budget?
I'm glad you brought that up. So yes, it was in my budget. However, I did not push to do it earlier simply because it's nobody's fault or nothing like that. We had got our budget, but we ended up getting us the increase. So I was just trying to wait it out due to I knew the budget was here and the increase bumped everything that I had got a little closer. So I was just trying to let everything balance out. So that's what took me a while to actually start pushing to get these things. I was waiting towards the end of the fiscal year to be able to get all this stuff because I didn't want to go over my budget since I ran into that hurdle. So that's why I'm pushing to get it now. But I do want to say, out of everything that's on this list, the first two is the two that I'm pushing to get as of right now. The other two I'm looking to. I've talked with the CPA. I've spoken with Mr. Dave over there. I'll get the other two on the other. Yeah.
Okay. But you just want us to approve it?
Correct.
And
Then we can start working everything else out on the other end.
okay.
When you say the first two, you're talking about the
The
1,600 and the 25,000.
No, let me repeat that. The radios. I need the radios right now, and I need the camera right now.
And the others on the back end?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I wanna know what kind of budget you had.
Yeah. So and I'm sorry it seemed like I'm throwing everything to you guys so sudden, but that's the reason why.
Okay.
Because I was just trying to make sure I didn't go over my budget.
Okay, so we can add that to the agenda.
Agenda item.
Item number 4, discuss purchase of 4 digital speed limit signs at a price of $12,000.
Around this time last year, I want to say it had to be May or June, I've spoken to all of you guys about the digital speed limit signs. And I told y'all the importance of why we want them in our community. Once again, they go along with the theme I've been speaking about, which is 21st century policing. A lot of people speed, we know that. And these is one of the things I feel like could be a huge deterrence to slow a lot of guys down, or a lot of the drivers down. So the price is $12,000. That's where it's at. We had at sometime last year it was cheaper than that, but that's the current pricing on it. So
We have a couple, right?
no, we do not. We never gotten back around to it after discussing it in one of the community meetings in the past of last year. So
I remember you talked about it last year. Is that the one still where when you're speeding the ticket read out or something?
no,
like
it
that?
don't. No, it just keep up with
It
the
just
data.
keeps
So we,
wait,
it keep
But
up
you
with
did talk
yeah.
about something like that.
Yeah, I did. But
Yeah, I
these
know.
right here specifically just focus on the data.
Now, since we were talking about Brewley does have a speed limit, and they have a sign that lights up at night to tell you to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the intersection by Hubbins and Mount Alexander and what is the Highway 1,
Mm-hmm.
we probably need something right there to let the people know that they need to
Slow
stop.
down.
Because they really just go across, and that's where most of the wrecks are. And then when I say that, it's highlighted at night, around saying stop.
They do.
And that's what they call Louisville Lane and Louisville Extension Lane going to the old Battery of Addis.
Yeah, I'm the chief of police, and when I see those signs, I even slow down. So I
Yeah,
think
so
it's just
it
something that
really
naturally
helps.
slow you down.
Yeah.
So what you need the most right now?
For the first two, which was the cameras and the radio, the in-car radios. This is something that I'm bringing to you guys' attention, but I can tackle it in the next fiscal year.
Okay. So this don't need to be on the agenda then, this just,
Yeah, I was just bringing it.
bringing it up.
Well, I think I can still go ahead. What you think, Mr.?
You're buying this for next fiscal year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can go ahead and approve it. I mean, if he has the money in his budget for fiscal year starting July first, I mean, approving it at the June meeting, basically, once July rolls around, then he can go ahead and act on it.
Okay. Oh, we can make that agenda.
You can make that agenda.
Agenda item F4.
Item number 5, discuss approval of 5-year SAAS agreement with SOMA for the Core Force records
All right.
system for the police department.
All righty. So as of right now, I'm about to pass this one on to Assistant Chief Smith. He sold me on this product, and I'm gonna let him explain to you. This is so he finna explain it to you. No worries.
Then you be on undivided attention.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, Ron. How you guys doing? So I don't want to bore you. I know record management systems can, talking about the information can be really boring, time consuming. So I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes version, and hopefully I can, grab your attention. But your RMS system in any field, right? Not just policing. It's the brains of your operation, right? It's one thing to be able to do something good, but you're only as good as you can document what you've been doing. Do we have a system now that can sort of get the job done? I mean, yeah, we do. But again, we're at a point where we're aging out what that system can do for the police department and the citizens that we serve. And we sort of just reached a tapped out max point where, if something was demanded, asked, a certain record, that we can only provide, very little. So going forward, a lot of agencies, they use now what's called a web-based program versus a locally hosted program. Some of your larger agencies with, budgets as tall as the state capitol, they can sort of fund that and keep it in-house because they can provide all the attributes that go with that. We're a much smaller agency, and we have budget limitations, manpower limitations, and just an array of a lot of issues that could come up if we still operate the same way that we've been operating. And what this system does, it started last year, of doing our homework, doing our due diligence to make sure that we can get a product that's going to be beneficial to not just us as a police department, right, but to the people that we serve. If they come in and request a record, or if they want to file a police report, we need to be able to regurgitate that information, spit it back out to them, and give them a product that they deserve. Also, with that being said, we deal with a host of agencies. We deal with the District Attorney's Office. We deal with Louisiana State Police Crime Lab. And any other agency, quite frankly, that may need to request a record, or if they need to do a joint investigation with us, we have to be able to operate and exchange information to them in an up-to-date way. So the current system we have, which is LEMIS, it's a publicly created program. We know how sometimes those can get. You get what you pay for, right? And again, minimum, it does what it should do. But again, SOMA, aka Core Force, which is the up-to-date name, it's a much better product and shifting into the way that Chief Mitchell wants this department to be ran in terms of record management. So again, this project started last year. It's not something we just woke up and decided to change, ask for, or do. We've been, meeting several times with this company, different times with other RMS companies, just to see what they offer and how they can bring us in the 21st century. This program, it will be a game changer, again, for our agency, our officers, and essentially our elected official to do what he's elected to do. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer the best way I can.
How deficient are you in producing these records right now? Let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, where are you?
I would say about a 4. Yeah, about a 4.
So with the 26,000, that's the setup fee or whatever y'all need, and then cause I see you say thereafter 18,000.
Yes, ma'am. So when you have a big migration of data, you have a new implementation of a system, it requires that company to come in, get with our officers, get with chief first, then get with our officers, train them, show them how it works, make sure it works, and get on board our IT company, just to make sure everything works correctly. It's set up, the data that we want has migrated, and pretty much just the functionality of it. And then, so that's why it's a higher than.
Will they train y'all on it to see if y'all would like the system first, cause you might get it, don't know.
Oh no ma'am. So we definitely been through that trial. I say trial and error, but we've had 2 or 3 hour meetings, with their representatives, going through the program, showing us what it does and how we can benefit the most from it. And we really, trust me, we really put them to the test. And of course, we always use what we have now and what we've been using to compare what we can and can't do. And it's been night and day of what we can do and what we should be able to do. So it won't be just a try it out and like it. We've been through the ringer with it.
So it's just like if I come for a police report, instead of me having to wait 2 weeks so I can get it right then and there.
Oh yes, ma'am, absolutely. As long as it's approved, you'll be good to go. Yes, ma'am.
But in a better format.
Right, a better format. Right. And then just the ability to be able to talk with other agencies. Again, our district attorney's office, they won't have to wait for a paper copy. It'll be real time, up to date, instantly. As long as that officer puts it in and it's approved, they'll be able to have access to it, excuse me.
So this the only company that y'all checked into, or this the only company that does that?
No ma'am, so Core Force, aka Soma, whichever one you want to use. Another one, we looked at Motorola, we looked at Axon.
I'm talking about the price wise.
Oh yeah. So I'll give you one that I can remember off the top of my
Because I don't
head.
see no paper saying, well, we got this bid for this, we got this price for this, we just got this here. So we don't know if y'all searched and went for the cheap price or the good price or.
So I'll give you one real quick, Ms.
I don't see it on
Charlotte.
paper.
Oh, we got it on paper
Okay.
already. Trust me, it's on paper. But Taylor built this RMS company out of Mississippi. It's one of the first ones we looked at. Their onboarding and initial price is $65,000, and then $42,000 a year after that. So, as you can see, that's a big price difference in what
Yeah,
the
and I
company we
understand that,
chose.
but I just said, when y'all do our bids and you want us to approve stuff, show us where you went out and got different prices so we know that this is the best price that we're voting for. We're
Right.
not just gonna vote for it because y'all say this is the best price. Show us that y'all went out and to different agents to get a price.
Right. So I got PDFs, all of that, but you right, you got them. I don't have it printed out with me, but I definitely have it in my file that deals with this RMS system. So we went got it. That's how I was able to remember the price, and we did our homework. But yes, ma'am, I got you.
So what y'all currently have now, with the police reports that you're able to pull online, this is something in addition, or are you getting rid of that? Cause now they're able to pull police reports online and pay over the phone for them and get them mailed to them, or
If you crash, that's two different.
it's different?
Yeah, that's 2 different things. So the reason we had that ability is because the state sort of forced all agencies' hands, right? They're responsible for the reporting and maintaining those records for crashes in the state, and they did the same thing that we're doing now. They say, "Hey, everybody, we're going to this, and you need to catch up." So you're right, man. It's called eCrash system.
I remember when I was downstairs.
It's statewide. I think it's crashdocs.org, which is sort of a third-party site that administers those reports. But you're right. But it's through the state, so that's why it's a different program.
Chief, Christmas is in December. But I'll put it
In June.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if we go items 1 through 5, we're looking at roughly $73,000 if we grant all it. To me, as my personal opinion, the one thing that needed to be done. The cameras, I'm on board on that. mobile units, the mobile radios, well, how can you be in contact if you don't have them? The 4 digital speed limit signs, definitely. And then this, because I believe that reflects on your department, on number 5, to be presented in a professional manner.
Sorry.
My statement is, when we talking about these cameras and everything, how much is one human life worth? Because this could save it.
Sorry.
And it's been proven over and over again. Personally, I mean, my feeling is 1 through 5. No, well, you do, but I'm in agreement with 1.
And Councilman Hubbard, real quick, I just like to add, because the last point you made is really, really important. So the RMS system that we're looking at, and this is one thing when Detective Celestine was here, we looked at it and we really, really, really liked amongst other things. So the system that we currently use, and not to be too technical, but you can put a person in that system pretty much unlimited times, right? So if I deal with a person 2 or 3 times over the course of a year or so, and then we have a brand new officer that's dispatched to a address, unless he or she types that person's name exactly how it was entered, it'll put them in again, and it won't show that officer or even flag the system. This new system, Soma, it will take care of all that. It'll give you a red bar around it. It'll give you a flash. So when we search a person, you get dispatched to a house, there's no more 6 entries in the system of this person. It's 1, and it'll be attached to all the calls. And that's really, really important, because that's not do justice for either side, right? The people we're serving are the officers being dispatched. And I hate to send an officer with just a year experience, and I have 13, and I'm fully aware of this person and the way they may behave. Not every time, but the way they may behave. And just to send them in an empire it's not fair. Right. I mean, it's not professional. So again, that's one of the things that we really, really liked about the system that we currently can do.
I see AI assisted too, with technology in it too.
Oh yeah, it's a really, really good system.
And I wouldn't want to pull that to look like a low-rent operation.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to agree with that.
I'm for the public safety, but I understand what Ms. Martin is saying though. But I'm all for the public safety. If you bring us, like she said, just bring us and let us see the numbers.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I'm quite sure we all agree.
Yeah, we
on
all
public
agree.
safety. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And the other thing, do you have that 75,000 in budget for it?
Well, when I put in
For the 5?
originally, when I got my first budget, which was last year, I had an additional $217,000 in there. But so yeah, it was.
You said, but the butt is.
We worked. I got with the CPA, and we got everything squared away.
Public safety is number 1. We got to keep the city safe.
That's right.
I need to address that.
All right, I'll let Mr. Agent do it because I don't want.
I appreciate the delicacy that Chief Mitchell was trying to address this issue. You will find out next week when we do both the budget amendment for fiscal year 26 and the budget adoption for fiscal 27. We're talking about 2 separate budgets. There were wires crossed with the CPA since this is the first time we actually had to do a general fund amendment. I didn't realize, maybe I didn't communicate correctly with the CPA. I did send y'all an email originally with my Excel document on a proposed budget amendment and told you as a council members that the CPA was working on finalizing the numbers and there would be some small changes, and that document that the CPA would present would be the official document. By the time after I got it and entered in all of those pages and pages of changes in the the projected 2026 final, I noticed that they were far off from what I had proposed. So we will have to clean that up next week at the council meeting with amendments to those things, which we can do. But for the fiscal year 27, which I was going to talk about when we get later on, the Louisiana Governmental Budget Act for a proposed budget, not a budget amendment to the current budget, but the one that for fiscal year 27, we cannot substantially change what was introduced in May. I've already checked with the auditor, and substantially change is open to interpretation. So the chief's allocations for number 4 and 5, both my opinion, the auditor's opinion, I would think any person with common sense, but don't want to speak for that, would say that those doesn't substantially change your introduction of proposed budget, so we can make the minor changes to that 27 document with the adoption of the the budget next year. However, when we get to number 8, when we're talking about spending over almost $2 million for land, that now substantially changes itself. So we cannot do that in the budget adoption. We would actually have to physically introduce a budget amendment to the 27 to say we want to actually, we have the money in this savings for, can I have it speak on that agenda item?
Yeah, just wait till we get to it.
To explain why we're doing that way, but so next week you will have clarifications and amendments to the projected for 26 to clean up all the confusion, and then the 27, the minor changes and whatever major changes, as I will discuss in number 8.
That's in different departments that mix up in, or just one department?
It's across all of the departments. And the auditor, I've checked with the auditor as well, and the auditor's looking at the 5% variance. They're looking totally for the total, when all is said and done, the final number on a revenue, the final number on expenditures. But from an accounting point of view, we've got to line item everything, and that's where we've got to make the corrections. And the accounting firm was trying to make everything match to be 100% on both sides. And they didn't realize that some things were in the pipeline, that since our software can't encumber things, that until we actually put it in the system, some of us may not realize. And we're working on trying to fix that. Philip has tried to put in an Excel, since our software does not work, to try to start encumbering process. We are trying, as the chief has said, on other things, trying to upgrade everything, but when everything is behind, it's taking a while.
Okay.
Does that hopefully clear that up? Any other questions?
You think about it, I heard you, but
It's a lot, and
yeah, I hear, but I got to grab it.
Anything else from y'all? Thank you, Adrian. Good. Thank y'all.
I'm sorry, I just want to mention one other thing that Ms. Gordon brought up when you questioned the chief about having those different quotes. It is something, I don't know if the chief will comment, but I have told the chief when he's come to me much earlier he wanted, I forgot which project, make sure you've invested, is this the cheapest one? And the second thing I've asked him to do, get with other municipalities that have implemented this, like with the cameras for Brilliant, they're using, find out what problems they've encountered in the implementation so that we don't encounter them and try to, because as we're coming along and we implementing these new things, there's always hidden costs that, the vendor says, you also need this, but the vendor's job is to sell us, it's our job to make the question. So I have expressed that to the chief and everyone. Ask other municipalities what problems that you've encountered so that we can hopefully be ahead of them and don't find out after the fact. Try to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money.
Right. Thank you, Adrian.
Item number 6, presentation by Servon regarding their products and services.
Thank you all for having me here tonight. My name is Dantario Dansby, but I just go by Dan. Makes it a lot easier to remember that. I'm here to talk to you about a Servline program. I've talked to the mayor about this program a couple of times, and so I wanted to come down and present to you all. A little bit of background. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, so my accent is a little bit different from you all. Just know that it's from the South, but it doesn't have that twang quite like you all do. So to talk to you all about the Servline program. What we do is we partner with different cities, municipalities, utility districts to offer and I'll pass these out. I'm gonna keep one of them. What we do is we partner with different cities, towns, and water associations to offer a leak insurance policy. And what that means is when your customers or constituents have a high water bill due to a leak, what do you all currently do? And I know I can't really ask you all questions, I'm just putting it out there. And what we found is a lot of different cities and towns, especially here in Louisiana, cannot offer a leak adjustment or do not offer some type of leak adjustment for their constituents. And the reason being is because you would be giving away water. And what we've come up with is an insurance policy that pays for that. So if a customer comes in and says, "Hey, I just received a $1,000 water bill, and there's no way that I'm at fault for this," instead of you all putting them on a payment plan, I think that's what you used to do. I don't think you can do that anymore. But instead of your customer service team having to go back and forth with this customer to try to help them, and there's nothing that they can really do, what our program does is sends that check over to the city. So if their average water bill is $50, but they got a $1,000 water bill, what we do is send $950 directly to your customer service team, and they just pay the average of $50. The goal is to make it where the city is receiving their revenue because you've all produced that water or purchased that water or whatever it may be. And then also making sure that your customers are taken care of, because if they have a leak, most people can't afford to have a plumber come out and pay them a $150 service fee or $200 service fee, and that's just for them to roll the truck, and then also turn around and pay the city or the water department for a $1,000 water bill. And then if they don't pay it, they're going to get shut off, and then they have to pay an additional $50 to have it reconnected or whatever it may be. Now this program, it comes at no cost to the city directly. Okay, this is a cost to the customers because it's their responsibility, right? Your responsibility is to make sure you produce water that's drinkable or whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of where your responsibility stops. It's at the meter. Once it goes through the meter, it's their responsibility. What we want to do is ensure your revenue that's at risk. And what we found is that a lot of cities and towns, if you don't offer a leak adjustment, if you can't offer a leak adjustment, you will have some customers that get a $1,000 water bill, $2,000 water bill, and they never pay it. And then you can't go after them. And you may have a deposit that's $100, $200, $300. But if that water bill was $1,000, right, and you have the deposit of $300, you still lost, $700 or whatever it may be. So what we want to do is help, anyone who needs that. But with this program, what we do ask is that this is something that goes on a utility bill as a line item, or some utilities will implement it into their base rate. I personally like the line item because it gives your customers the choice to say they don't want it. So they can call in to us and say, hey, the council said that there's this new program that's going to start in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. That's going to be $1.75 or it's going to be $2 a month. But I don't want it. I don't need it. If I get a $1,000 water bill, I can pay for it. But those ones that can't, that an extra $5 on their water bill, extra $10 kind of puts them in a tight situation. This program is for those, and they can have it, right? So we don't want everyone to have it that doesn't need it, but we do want the ones who need it to be able to have it, right? So on the proposal that I put together for you all, and I'll just kind of go through it a little bit with you, and we'll go line by line, but I'll flip over to, I think it says page 2, and that just gives you the pricing breakdown. So what this is we do this for water and for sewer. So the cost of it for a $2,500 limit, and what that means is your customers will get one adjustment every 12 months over 2 billing cycles up to $2,500. And the cost of that is $1.80. Now, when I say insurance, this is not like car insurance, homeowners insurance, where if you use it, your rate goes up. It's a flat rate for every customer. So on the residential side, that's what the flat rate would be. So if they use it, the next year is still gonna be $1.80, or the next month is still gonna be $1.80. It's not something that as soon as you use it, oh, your rate's gonna go through the roof. It's just a flat rate there. And we do this for the sewer side as well. I did put on there a combination rate, and I'll just be honest with you, I don't like the combination rate. And the reason why I'll say that, just so you all can understand, is that if you have the $500 limit or the $1,000 limit, that's the total that you can get. So if your water bill is $1,000, typically your sewer bill is much higher, but the most that you're going to get is $1,000. If they're separate with the water and the sewer, separate rates, $1.80 for each, you would get $1,000 for water, $1,000 for sewer. Does that make sense? So that's why that pricing is a little bit different there, because you don't get as much coverage. I'm gonna flip over, and as I say this, we actually do this for commercial as well. So we consider churches commercial. Some of our partners haven't updated that to say, hey, we have to charge you a commercial rate. Since we are insurance, churches would fall underneath that, and so we want to cover whoever needs it. And a lot of times your small businesses and your churches are the main ones who need it on that commercial side. So I'm just going to do a comparison on this next page. I think it says page 3, right? So currently, if I remember correctly, Mayor, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, currently you don't have any type of leak adjustment policy in place, right? You don't do anything in-house. There's no benefit qualifiers. There's no covered benefits. There's nothing that when your constituents have a high water bill that you can do for them currently. On our side, what we're proposing, or what I'm proposing to you all, is, like I said, one adjustment every 12 months over 2 billing cycles. Why we do that is because our partners told us when we started this program is that, hey, typically when a customer gets a high water bill, the next billing cycle started. They need help with that one too. It's going to take time for them to fix it, have a plumber fix it, whatever. We typically say that it has to be 2 times their average water bill. We don't want their average bill to be $50, and then they get a $60 water bill and they want to file a claim. That just doesn't make sense when you're paying $1.80 a month. You don't win doing that. The covered benefits, this is just our standard coverage that I put together. Some of our partners say, hey, we want to cover lines that extend to a barn or a shed, or we want to cover irrigation lines. We can cover whatever it is that you want us to. This is just what the standard is of what is the most beneficial at the best rate. Some of our partners will cover like cattle troughs. So if the cow goes over there and knocks it over and it makes it leak, if they go back and fix it, that's an adjustment for us. So we would pay for that high water bill for them. If you want us to cover things like that, we can. So I don't want you to look at this and just think this is in a box. We customize it for each one of our partners based on what their needs are. Any questions so far? I feel like I'm kind of going through this pretty quickly. So, okay. The next, turn the mic off. Okay, the next page is just a sample protection policy. This is kind of what lays it out. Some people say, well, most insurance, they don't want to cover whatever. Well, we lay out what is covered, what isn't covered. So as I stated before, standard coverage from the meter to the home. So if that main line breaks or anything like that, they can file a claim. They call us in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They say, hey, I just received a $500 water bill. We tell them to get it fixed, send us over a plumber's receipt, send us a receipt from a home improvement store, send us pictures, whatever it is. You don't have to have a plumber fix it. You can fix it yourself. We don't want to tell them who has to fix the leak, because that can make the bill be even more expensive for the constituents. But from the meter to the home, leaks inside the home, some don't don't cover the irrigation. So we'll just say, hey, we don't cover leaks that's on irrigation lines. It's very, very simple of what we cover and what we don't cover. We don't want it to be a whole lot of red lines, gray areas of we don't cover this, we do cover this type of leak. We leave it up to you all as the leaders of what you think is the most beneficial for your community to be covered, and that's what we're going to cover. So like I said, we can customize this. This is just a sample of a basic policy for you, if you will. Now, we do not cover anything over a 2-inch meter. They wouldn't be eligible for the coverage. Unless you want us to, and that would be specific for those customers. So the pricing would be different for those specific customers if you want us to do that. But on the standard policy, it would not. Other than that's it. I'll let you know that we are partnered with Louisiana Rural Water Association to offer this, the National Rural Water Association. And as some of the people went up before me, you talked about speaking with other municipalities who do this program. So some of our partners here in Louisiana that are somewhat close by would be like East Feliciana Rural Water does this program. Waterworks District number 7 in East Feliciana does our program. The town of Marigoine just implemented this program. And we have some other water districts like in Slidell that do this. But a lot of our partners are up in the northern part of Louisiana. But we have around 300 to 400 that do this throughout the nation. And we started it in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and just have slowly grown it outside of that. So I work here in Louisiana. I think I've seen a couple of you all at the Louisiana Municipal Association conference. I've been there and talked to different people there. But I would love to get this program implemented here for the town. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
I guess let's get it clear, you're saying that they would pay for the repairs also?
This program does not. This only pays for the high water bill. Now we do have a program that will pay for the repairs, but I want you to know that it's 2 separate programs, right? This is something that goes on the utility bill. Paying for the repairs does not go on the utility bill. Okay, that's billed directly through us for that program. And the reason why is that that's more expensive, right? With that type of coverage, they get unlimited amount of claims for water line, unlimited amount of claims for sewer, and unlimited amount of claims for interior plumbing and drainage. We don't want a $5 increase to go on that water bill, $6, $8, whatever it may be. That's not your responsibility at that point. What we want to do is just make sure you're insured for the water that you've produced. But you all can offer a program to the homeowners to repair their water lines, sewer lines, internal plumbing and drainage, gas lines, things like that. That's a long way to answer your question. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
I have 2, clarifications or inquiries. First one, we're talking about adjustment. I want to make sure that Louisiana law says we cannot physically adjust the bill. So this would not be an adjustment. They're using the terminology of adjustment to calculate how they're going to send a reimbursement check for paying some of the cost of that bill. We, as a city of Port Allen, would not be physically adjusting a water bill, even though in that terminology it says adjustment. The second thing for clarification purposes, I want to make sure we're all aware of how this works. When you said there's no upfront cost to the city, who's collecting these $1.80 premiums? How is that something that this, I think you did answer, that the city of Port Allen is putting on a utility bill, and for those customers, so the hidden cost to the city of Port Allen is going to be the record keeping of when people want to opt in or opt out, and then collecting those payments on an insurance bill and then sending a payment every month. So there's record keeping that's a hidden cost when there says no cost to the city.
And that's a great point. So there is an administrative cost, if you will. And that's something that you kind of do now as far as answering those phone calls and things like that. But the record keeping part is correct because the city holds the record of, we go one of based off what you have, right? And we will always do that because we don't want your customers to call us and there'll be a disconnect. However, with that, some of our partners, what they will do is if it's $1.80, then that charge for the record keeping would be 20 cents, 25 cents. So it would be actually $2, $2.10, whatever it may be. So then the city would receive that revenue for record keeping. Does that make sense? And that's totally up to each one of our partners who want to do that. And many of our partners do. Whatever cost you come up with is totally fine by us, but we do send that letter out to each one of your customers. That comes on us. We pay for that. We make sure each one of your customers get that.
But they can cancel out anytime?
They can cancel anytime they want to, and they can call back and enroll anytime they want to. All of our calls are recorded, so if a customer calls in to us, you all have access to that. We send it over to your team, and it's a file. And you can go through and just pull up every single call that's come in, so you know what the customer service is like for your town.
So how many customers do you have to have for it to go into effect?
Great question. We do not have, there is no minimum or maximum or anything like that. So if 90% of your customers decided to say they don't want it, we would service the 10% at the same rate as what's quoted there. I think Ms. Councilwoman King has a question.
I don't. I mean, the fees gonna be included in the, bill.
Yes, that's right.
And the water bill?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not gonna be like separate, all in all.
No. It would be on that because you're the holder of who's all in this program.
So how often do you increase the price? Cause I know you're not gonna stay at 180, so.
Great question, right? When you think about insurance, it's typically always an increase. What I see with the partners that I've had in Louisiana, we have not really increased since, I haven't seen one. We've been doing this since 2020. And the reason being is because you'll have some years where you have a lot of claims and you have some years where you don't, right? We look at it at a 3-year time frame. So if year 1 you had a lot of claims, but year 2 you didn't, then year 3 it was midway, there's no reason for us to change that pricing because 1 year claims was high, next year claims was low, next year claims was midway. With this program, you all know, raising the water rate sometimes gets people really, really upset. We try to keep it at that cost of less than $2 to make sure that it's something that's feasible for the customers. So we don't typically see a rate increase unless you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of we're running in the red. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably a dumb question. So, John Doe, no, you can opt in or opt out at any time. So John Doe has a traditional $50 bill. All of a sudden, he's got a $1,000 bill, and he says, "Oh, I want that insurance." What's the waiting period?
So, great. Now that's not a dumb question. That's a great question. We can't go in the rears. So what it is, it's a 30-day wait. So if they opt out of the program and then they receive a bill and then they want to get back in it, we can't pay for that because that was a previous month. It's going to be 30 days before you can file a claim, and that will be for that next month's bill. So we won't be able to go into the rears.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure that you all understand the fee that is there, that you all can decide on how much revenue you want to receive for offering this program, right? For the record keeping, the administrative, we call it an administrative fee because that's the administrative work that your staff would be doing. They do send us a report once a month. That typically takes them 30 minutes out of their month to run that report and send that over to us and work with our team. It's not them constantly receiving phone calls. They can actually hotkey it if you have that, where if a customer calls in and says, hey, I just received a $1,000 water bill, give me 1 second, let me transfer you over to our leak protection program. I shouldn't say adjustments because sometimes that gets a little sticky, but with us, since we're offering as a third-party insurance, you can do that legally here in the state of Louisiana.
I see where it said deductible waived. Is it waived at every time you have a problem to pay, or just a one-time waive fee?
So deductible is what their average water bill is. There is no deductible. Does that make sense? If your average water bill is $50 and you receive a $1,000 water bill, you would normally spend $50 on your water bill. You pay that to the city, so it's always waived. Does that make sense? There is no deductible paid to us because you're using. That's what you normally use. That's your normal usage each month. Does that make sense?
I saw where it said waived, so I want.
Yeah, with this program, there is no deductible. There is no deductible.
So what we'll do, we'll have, our assistant, finance person, she does the utility billing for the city. We'll get her to call the places that you use and kind of see
Yes.
how it goes. When you came to talk to me, I explained to you kind of what, and I told you we don't do adjustments, so let that be clear. But for some reason, some companies mail things to our customers that call and think we have something like this in place anyway. You know, some of them say good things, some of them say bad things, but like I tell them, as of then, that is no company affiliated with the city, has anything to do with us. So when you came, you know, I explained to you, hey, we kind of had this same conversation, you know, but over the phone, not knowing that they were mailing it out to the customers anyway. So this is where we are.
And anything that we put together with the city, we get that approval from you all before it ever goes out. So the letter that we send out, the brochure to inform your customers to say, hey, this program is going to start in 30 days, 60 days. We do ask that it has some type of city logo or the return address for the city so they are informed about it. And I know you all talked about posting stuff on Facebook. We will put together any content that you need for you all to put it out there to educate people to say this is something that the city's doing, so then they would know that rather than the letters that go out and then they
I would think, just my opinion, the council has to, you know, to approve it. But my suggestion being that I've done bills before, is to send something out and maybe not say take a poll on it, but I would rather send something out for them to say, yes, I want to opt in versus putting it on their utility bills. And they have to call us and we get all the calls saying, you know, hey, I don't want this, what is this extra fee? Because we do get a lot of calls once they see any slight increase in anything. So that will, if decided, that may be something we want to do first, look at, to see if, I guess kind of who's interested besides before just putting it on the bills.
You know, like, Mayor, I've had some calls from some constituents about that letter that's been.
Right. It's been for a while, it's been more.
I will say that we've tried that approach, not to say that we wouldn't try it again, but we've tried that approach with like Louisville Water, which is a huge water company. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of customers. They've spent their own money trying to educate their customers on that, close to $250,000 to get their customers to enroll in it. When you send something out to get them to enroll in it, most people won't. But if they have that $1,000 water bill, that's when they want it, and that's when it's too late. And so what we don't want is for people to, if you send a letter out and say, do you want this or do you not, you may get 4% that reply back to say, yeah, I do want this or I don't want this or what, just any response at all. But when you get a $1,000 water bill, you get a $500 water bill, you're guaranteed to get that call and say what they need and what they want and what you should be doing. So for us, if you do it that way, you probably won't reach the people that you need to reach. And not to say that we won't do that, but it will be much harder to get to those people who need it than doing it where if they call in, then they can opt out of this as quickly as they want to. And I can talk to you about some other options we have in doing it that way to ensure that customers are still taken care of that do not want it. If that's okay with you, but we can have that conversation.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'll give Ms. Antoine a call and we can kind of go from there if y'all are good with, see how it works.
Thank you.
Okay. Y'all want to make it an agenda item?
Yes.
Agenda item.
Item number 7, discuss approval of pay application in the amount of $239,551.61 to Amtrak for the road rehabilitation project.
Yeah, this is me basically asking for forgiveness. I made a mistake last month. Y'all approved the final adjustment change order and the substantial completion for this project. I had thought we had already approved their actual pay app in the prior month, but obviously you did not. And so for the city to be able to pay them, we need to approve the actual pay app at the next meeting. Totally my fault. Just thought.
Ms. King got,
Oh, yeah.
Ms. King got the call and so I got the visit today.
Yeah. Just send them my way and let them beat me up. It's,
Yeah, they were.
so I just asked that be put on the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agenda item.
Item number 8, discuss introduction of 2026-2027 budget amendment to allocate funds for acquisition of property for the new Mansfield wastewater treatment facility.
All right, as a Larson Act community, the council appropriates money, and there is a specific way that you appropriate money. Just say we have the money in a savings account and we want to spend it to purchase the land is not the legalese way. We formally have to do it, and I've checked with the auditor since we introduced the 26-27 budget last month without physically appropriating that we're going to spend 2 million to actually purchase land for the sewer plant. It has to be a budget amendment because that would be substantially changing the introduction. So next week, after we approve the 27 if you approve the fiscal year 27 operating budgets, we will then have a amendment to introduce to appropriate funds to purchase the land. Now those funds would be coming from the ARPA savings account. The ARPA account has now been officially closed, so the money that has been set aside in case we had to pay the money back is now available for us to use elsewhere, so that's where we would be using the money from in savings that doesn't appear on our budget and revenue report. You would be appropriating for the city of Port Allen to move the money from savings account into our operating account to pay for the land. If that makes sense, or any questions on that? So yes, we have the money to pay for the land, but it's in savings, and since we don't physically have it delineated on that document last month that you got, the auditor says that would be, when you're talking about 1.5 million as opposed to a couple thousand, that's a substantial change, so we cannot simply just make it in that. We've got to go through the formal budget amendment, which is introduce an amendment at one meeting, have a public hearing at a subsequent meeting, and then actually adopt the ordinance at a subsequent meeting. So
And just point of clarity as well, again, we don't have an appraisal, so we don't know the appraised value of the land, so essentially what you're doing is taking a chunk of money and putting it in a budget line item, such that, you now have a chunk of money there that you can draw from if this proceeds. Obviously, it's gonna be several months, in a due diligence phase before you'd be in a position to actually proceed with the purchase of land. So, just don't want people thinking that, I don't know what the dollar amount is, but I'm just making up numbers here. If we put $2 million in that account, that doesn't mean we're just gonna pay $2 million for the land. It's possible that the value, comes in way below that, appraises for below that, in which case, all right, we got the $2 million there, but we're not gonna spend the $2 million.
Any questions?
Yes. I just have a question for Adrian.
Yes, sir.
Do you have enough extra funds to put to the side for Mr. What's his name? Uncle Alcohol mistakes? Because he just said he made a mistake and it cost you, what, $239,000?
Let me clarify on
that's
the number 7 on the heat. That did not hit, that mistake that he referenced when he said mistake did not cost the city an extra $239,551.61.
No,
The state has a lot of,
what Mr. Aricall was saying is that he meant to make that pay application get processed he thought it got processed last month, but it didn't. So that's why he's asking for it now. But the city would have paid that last month had he put it last month.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, we already have the money, he just got to put the payments.
He's gonna forget you got $2 million you can be putting aside right now. He's gonna forget again.
That's our different pot.
That's different, Mr. Joe.
That's different.
The reason I'm saying that is because every time I look at, the meeting, Aricall, he got a mistake.
Mr. Jones.
I'm a citizen.
You're right about that, Mr.
I'm a
Jones,
citizen.
you have the right to.
I'm a citizen.
With,
Right.
with the pay, I would like to speak on the pay application. It was presented to me, or it came across my desk after the council meeting or whatever, pay, and my memory says I've always seen where we formally approved pay applications. I checked with legal, I checked with the auditors. We approved the substantial completion, we approved the change order. The change order that you approved last week actually has this amount as the new amount when we took off that, I believe, $8,000, I believe it was. Do not quote me on the actual number. So this number is actually in the change order plus the retainage that they would subsequently get paid later on, the retainage that we hold to make sure there's nothing. So mathematically, and common sense says, y'all approved the change order, y'all approved substantial completion, therefore, y'all approve this. But the way the law is written, we've got to formally, as an agenda item, say, pay the pay application, and that's what Mr. Aricall was referencing, that particular piece of paperwork didn't come through. The money was already allocated in the budget for, I think, $500,000 for road projects last year. We bid it out with the Louisiana Public Bid Law, I think, with the $279,000, I think it was. So it came in. Well, 3 roads was over the budget, so we went with 2 roads to be underneath the budget. So y'all formally approved the application for the bids. Y'all formally approved the bid award to Amtrak, whatever the amount was. We formally approved the reduction in the change order, but we did not formally approve this. And Louisiana law says we've got to formally approve that. And I did not want an audit finding because they do look at all of our bid projects to make sure we follow every single thing. So I was doing my due diligence when it came across to see can we pay them, because like I said, we did substantial, did the change order. It seems common sense to me, but I wanted to make sure, and both legal and auditors said, no, we had to do this unless we were being in violation of the contract. The contract for payment was 45 days post the note, so June 10th council meeting still falls within that 45-day period.
Bill will be paid timely.
Yes.
So how long has Eric Talk been with us?
That I cannot answer.
Alright, good.
Uh,
some years, I know I've been here, but this my second, I don't hear, it's been some years.
Same company?
Well, he's been with the same company. He was professional engineering consultants, and then they were bought out, merged with to Tableau or Fortin Tableau or something.
Important to blood.
Yeah.
I asked that
I
question
just-
because I kind of see where Councilman Joe
Yeah.
is going with that.
I can't see all those changes. This, all the time he been with the city, he always have a change order. Come on, man.
Let me, if I can, on change, I know, alright.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I guess like they say, everybody human, everybody makes mistakes.
And it's good to
It's not just
question
mistakes.
those mistakes, because down the line, you don't want that same mistake to get by you. I'm just making a comment.
I think if we start questioning, we need to question everything.
That's
Exactly.
And that goes for all departments. That's how I feel. But that would be up to the board to change to a new engineering firm. So that will be to y'all when that time
That
comes.
would be something that I think we should look into. Most definitely.
That was an agenda item?
The budget.
So the only correspondence that I have is, I'm sorry, adjourn. Okay, I'm sorry. The only correspondence I have is Republic. Mr. Steve Smith came to see me on yesterday, I think. They are changing from the boom piles that are on Saturdays. We are going to they formally sent something. So we're in the process of putting that up on our website and Facebook pages. But they are formally changing from Saturdays to Mondays. So the same Monday pickup that's on this side of City Hall will continue along with the boom piles. So that's the claw truck, the little brush piles that people have out. It will no longer be on Saturdays starting, I think, the 22nd. On both sides, yes. So, to Mondays. And they will be coming as well. The July 31st is the end of their contract. We have not started, talking about everything's going up. So I know that's probably, it's going to go up. We didn't talk about an amount. So that may be something. We don't have many garbage companies to look into, but I do think once we ironed out the differences that we had, I do think they have done a better job with doing what we ask. All the other I'm sorry. Yeah. So all the other announcements we went through. We will post as well on the pages. Any questions y'all have, because it's a lot of things coming up in this month. Any questions you have, please give us a call. But we will post and update our Facebook pages.
Mayor, for our municipality associate, do we make our own hotel room, or you all gonna make it for us?
No, ma'am. You can get with Miss Lynette with the we were supposed to do those packages, but we'll have
No, Miss Rose gave them an application.
Oh, she gave it to you. Okay.
Yeah,
and we make our own.
Y'all sent